Don't let it be electric cars and they have them little funny noises. You know what I'm talking about, them little funny noises. The Tesla pop on out. Should have put you right in a trance. And whatever you're talking about, whatever somebody's talking about to you, whatever you're listening to, whatever billboards are put out in front of you, all of that information is going right into your subconscious. And we as a human species need to begin to understand that at mass, at large, we have been being controlled.
And I've been amazed by myself. You see, this just the beginning. You see the king of the chosen. Break your mind out of prison. You see the light of the world. I'm the light in the prism. Holographic, my nature. I'm just the light in the pineal. They say life is a video. They say lies that you listen to. I just listen to me. Intuition is key. You know God is my guru. My guru made everything. My guru made me to tell you that love is all that we need.
The amount of patience it's taken you to gather all this information and translate it in a way that you could share it with many people.
You are truth. You are the truth. You're on to something, and I know you're going to be big.
So a lot of people think that they understand spirituality. And unfortunately, in a world filled with multiple, and when I say multiple, I mean like infinite amount of disinformation campaigns going on, misinformation from people that think that they know what they're talking about, that are just sharing what they truly believe, but that they don't actually know. Unfortunately, this has created a lot of confusion around what does it actually mean to be spiritual. And beyond the confusion, oftentimes a lot of people just have different beliefs about what it means to be spiritual. Spirituality can look like one thing to one person, and it can look literally totally opposite to another. So I think it's really beautiful to break down words etymologically, meaning understanding their origin and what meanings the word is actually composed of, because it will hint at the reality of what the word was intended to mean when it was created. And the word spirituality is actually a compound word made up of the word spirit and ritual. Now, if we take the word spirit and we go back to its origin, how was it used in the first place? Spirit was first showed up in the Bible. And in the Bible, it was spelled S-P-I-R''IT. And this was to mean spear it, as in like spear is an action and it is a thing. The it is referring to the energy plus matter complex. Energy plus matter. What I mean by that, you have a physical body, then you have an energetic body, right? Science refers to this energetic body as a morphogenetic field, right? You could go look that up. Morphogenetic fields is basically this concept that around each atom is like a field of light and electromagnetic radiation that organizes the properties of that atom. And it's what separates an atom of gold from an atom of hydrogen, right? It's what separates on a molecular level, on an organ level, on an organism level, right? It's what separates you from a lion or you from an elephant and all things of that nature, right? The morphogenetic field is what organizes us to be who we are. It energizes us, it motivates us to do the things that we do. And in spirituality, we would typically refer to this as our aura, right? And so you have an aura around you, and it's just a light field that's organizing your being, right? And so that's the energy portion. Then you have the physical body. Most of us are pretty familiar with our physical form, right? So if we take the energy and the physical thing, that's the it. Now the word spear means to breathe in, okay? Just take a deep breath with me. Let's take one more deep breath. Let's just feel, what is the effect of breathing deeply? Take one deep breath and breathe out. Typically, breath, when you spear it, right? When you breathe into this body thing, that typically shifts your whole vibrational state. And depending on how you breathe, breath happens to be the fundamental key component to entering into trance. right? When we're breathing from our diaphragm, we're pushing on certain nerves, and those nerves cause our mind to be activated and stimulated in a certain way that puts us into a state of trance. It makes us a little bit more impressionable. So let's take this. So let's say the word spirit is referring to the process of entering into trance, okay? Then the word ritual literally means spaced repetition. If you've ever listened to maybe Bob Proctor or any person speaking on the subconscious mind or paradigms and how you shift those things, you'll hear about the power of repetition, okay? When it comes to how we learn things, we only learn things two different ways. Either they're programmed into us when we're children and our brains are operating in a certain brainwave state, meaning we're operating in trance, right? Or we learn them through repetition. We tie our shoes a bunch of times, until now you no longer have to learn how to tie your shoes. You just know it. You don't even know how you know. You don't know why you know. You just know, I know, right? It's just in there. Riding a bike, driving a car, all these things, we learn them. At first they feel so difficult, and then when you get really good at them because you've repeated the action so many times, you start to wonder to yourself, like, how could that have ever been difficult in the first place, right? Like driving is so simple. Like, I do it without even thinking about it. My subconscious mind just takes over and it just happens. I could be having a whole conversation and driving, and this was difficult at one point. And so that's the power of repetition to influence our subconscious minds. And so if we can look at it, what we're looking at with the word spirit and ritual, you know, and to make the point go home, because, you know, I didn't really mention like what ritual. Think about it like this. When you do something ritualistically, that just means that you're repeating that action over and over again. Like, say, for instance, you have a morning ritual. That's something that you do every single morning, right? So if we take the word trance and spaced repetition, we put them together, how do they operate together? If we're getting into trance repeatedly, what we're doing is programming the subconscious mind. And therefore, we can look at the word spirituality as meaning subconscious mind control. And let's look at different forms of spirituality to prove what I'm talking about. If you look at different religions, any religion, any mythos, right? Any mythology that has represented the beliefs of a people, what you're looking at is a story that impregnates into the mind a certain pattern of beliefs. And my personal definition for belief is a self-imposed law that governs your behavior. And I'll say that one more time, slowly. A belief is a self-imposed law that governs your behavior. So if I can offer you a story, and I tell you this story is absolutely true, and I can put different elements into that story that cause you to believe that it's true. And then within that belief, now, if you believe this one thing, you have to accept all these other beliefs. For example, the Bible is the truth, right? If you believe in that, you have to accept that everything that it says in all those books, and there's a lot of pages, there's a lot of words, and you have to believe that each one of them is representing the truth. And now, if I could get you to believe just the one belief, I'll get you to believe a bunch of other beliefs, and all those beliefs through story form will impregnate your subconscious mind and cause you, right, to, like, once you accept those beliefs will then govern how you behave. They'll govern how you show up. They might govern how you name your children. They might govern, like everything you do is then controlled by what you chose to believe. And now that's totally okay, let's say, if your religion is representative of the truth. Let me say that one more time. It is okay for somebody to program you to believe a certain way if what they're programming you to believe is the truth. It becomes a problem where, is what they're programming me to believe the truth or a lie? And now, spirituality, it's not just in religion, right? Spirituality, when we can look at it as subconscious mind control, becomes a daily thing that we do at all times through so many different mediums. When you're looking at a phone and you're scrolling, right? You're scrolling. If you see something that causes a particular emotion, an emotion is a state that induces trance. And so now, if you see a piece of content, it elicits an emotional response. Now your mind is wide open, and whatever they say for the rest of that video is going directly into your subconscious mind and creating beliefs that will govern your behavior and change how you interact with life. And now when you're scrolling and you're seeing things all day, every day, now you can understand how how social media could be potentially harmful for your mind. But it's not just social media, and I don't want to be rude to social media, especially because you choose who you follow on social media. One thing you don't really choose is the television shows that pop up on your TV, that pop up on Netflix, the music that is released, right? Who are the record labels signing and putting all their money behind? What messages are being supported in this world? We got to really ask ourselves those questions, because music is rhythmic. Dance itself was built around the concept of the African drum, which was initially created to induce trance states. Literally, rhythm is another word for repetition. You repeat some steps. That's a dance. You get into that dance, you get into the groove. You don't even know it. You've been doing this for the past 5 minutes, and then you like, oh shit, my subconscious mind is opening. The beats have frequencies. Those frequencies can shift your brainwave state. And then whatever the lyrical content is going directly into your subconscious mind. Whatever the film content of the movie or the TV show or the news or whatever it is, it's going directly into your subconscious minds. And we have to start engaging every aspect of life, because I'm talking about different places where there's intentional control, right, of how you're behaving. They're programming beliefs into you to control how you behave, how you think, speak, and act. But I could get really deep and talk about how, if we're talking about frequencies shifting brainwave states, all you need is some white noise to get somebody to fall into trance. If you live by the ocean, you're pretty much programming yourself all the time. But here's the funny thing. You don't even have to live by the ocean to have white noise. All you got to do is live by a road. Cars zooming up and back down your street all day, that's white noise. Don't let it be electric cars and they have them little funny noises. You know what I'm talking about, them little funny noises. The Tesla pop on out, should have put you right in a trance. And whatever you're talking about, whatever somebody's talking about to you, whatever you're listening to, whatever billboards are put out in front of you, all of that information is going right into your subconscious. And we as a human species need to begin to understand that at mass, at large, we have been being controlled by who knows, and I'm not trying to point any names yet, at least, but ultimately, we gotta look at that and look at the means by which they're doing the controlling. And all of that control is happening in the word spiritual. We gotta make everything that we do spiritual, intentional, right? And something that's going to aid in us actualizing the highest potential of ourselves, the highest potential of the community, the highest potential of our nation. We have to be intentional and aware of how we are designing life. I pray that that was a impactful and eye-opening message for you. Once again, my name is King Kepera. I pray that you like, comment, subscribe, share with all the people that you know that you think might benefit from this message. And I want to leave you with a question for yourself. What are you allowing to enter into your subconscious mind? And is it sowing a belief, reinforcing a belief, or countering a belief, right? You got to ask yourself these things. Is there something in my mind? Maybe I have beliefs about poverty and I'm staring at a bunch of wealthy people all day so I can counter that poverty consciousness that I have. Or maybe I'm trying to reinforce, right? I'm a positive person, so I like listening to positive affirmations to enforce my positivity. so I can prime how I'm showing up in the world. Or maybe you're sowing a brand new thing. Maybe this is brand new information and you're putting it in. But what are you allowing into your subconscious mind? And is it going to get you to where you truly want to be in life? As a wise being once said, let there be light, peace and love.
Put a seed inside me, Molly, let it grow, ayy. The oak inside the acorn, I've been bearing fruit, ayy. They bearing witness to a genius, I'm the